It's indeed now my pleasure to introduce a friend and a colleague and a champion for all, my friend Mayor Don Iveson. From the homeless to the underemployed, from the child to the senior, treating everyone with respect and dignity. He's known from the time he's been in front of all of us as an elected official, as an advocate, and now as the Mayor of Edmonton. Mayor Don Iveson, thank you for being here, and please join me at the podium. Thank you.
I'm just happy you're in Edmonton now. So. Oh, it's great. It's wonderful when we can build bridges and broader coalitions to shed light on issues that aren't necessarily the 6 o'clock news topics, but inclusion has to be what we organize our communities around. That is the strength of community, and that's been a real focus for our city council. It's increasingly becoming a focus for our friends at the region as we learn to work together under Mayor Krause's leadership as chair of the Capital Region Board. But it's a privilege to join you here today as a friend and as an advocate, and as a beneficiary too, on behalf of our organization of 11,000 employees, and we have some staff here, including folks from our Human Resources Department and some of our corporate culture champions. We've had a phenomenal experience. I can add testimony to Jay's and to the examples that Nolan's provided. There are wonderful dividends to your workplace, to being an inclusive workplace, and we've had 25 positions now. Or 25 placements now. We have 11 active positions, 4 of which are supported by the Gateway Association, and so we're very, very grateful for that partnership. And what's touched me about it is hearing the testimony of supervisors and folks from the workplace who at first, and they were honest about this, had some trepidation. They weren't sure how the placement would work. They weren't sure how people with developmental disabilities would integrate into the workplace. And then, like any one of you who has had the experience, the testimony is incredibly powerful. That, first of all, stigma is ripped away almost instantly. The common humanity of people is visible and apparent. And that's actually not just inspiring for the dignity of the new addition to the workplace, but it reconnects their coworkers with their own sense of humanity and their tendency to inclusion, which I think is a human instinct. And I think anything we can do to nurture that, to foster that, to inspire that in one another is worth pursuing. And the dividends of that are that we have a happier, more productive workplace for everybody. So there is value not only in the work performed, but in the contact and in the organizational culture that is built out of having a more inclusive workplace. And we found this every time barriers have been dropped in workplaces, from race to gender, and now one of the last barriers here, which we're talking about today. So as a representative, as a leader in an organization that has benefited from a more inclusive approach to hiring, I'm happy to add my testimony that it has been good for the city of Edmonton. And if you're not already doing it, it'll be good for your organization. But I suspect that if you're here, you already know that. And so you, alongside Nolan and myself and business leaders and passionate advocates like Jay and Mark, who we'll hear from later, all have a role to play in continuing to deliver this message to bigger and bigger audiences over time. And so I'm up to the challenge with Nolan. We'll work together to make this room bigger and bigger every year to get this message out there, because it's an important one for really for the soul of our community. And if we're going to say that we pride ourselves on inclusion, that we pride ourselves on respect, if we're going to make sure that the authors of our destiny are not the me first crowd, but the we together crowd, which is, I think, the set of values that Edmontonians resonate with by and large, then we need to do this work together. And so I'm glad to be a part of it, very grateful to be here and to bring you greetings on behalf of the city of Edmonton and to be a part of lunch with you today. And I'm really, really grateful that I am technically in the last year of Generation X. I can look at Jay and say, I don't know the kids these days. But they're not all bad. But I think the more contact, I expect that the employees that you have who see the dignity of other people who they might judge or who they might disrespect, I think that helps transform and uplift those people as well in every workplace. And so here's to hoping everybody has that chance to have those interactions and to construct a shared dignity for everybody, because that's what this community should be built upon into the future. So thank you once again for your commitment to this cause. Thank you to the Gateway Association specifically for the work that you do with people in our communities, especially around housing and support for families. That tailor-made approach you take is critical for people to find success. And so since I represent them as well, let me say thank you for that work that you do. Thank you very much.